So we'll see user management. So guys, there are two types of users. One is local user and the other is domain user. What is local user? Local users are used in workgroup model and they are created and saved on local computer. So this local users, they are created in workgroup model, and as we have discussed, we need to create the username and password on local computer. So in this example, we have 4 computers. Okay, let us say PC1, PC2, PC3, and PC4, and we have 4 users: user 1, user 2, user 3, and user 4. So if user 1 wants to access this PC1, you need to create the username and password for user 1 on this local computer. Okay, again, the same user wants to access the other computer like PC2, PC3, PC4. So you need to go to these three PCs, and you will have to create the user account for user 1. So same way, if user 2 wants to access all the computers, you need to go to all the computers and you need to create the username and password for user 2, and the same thing with user 3 and user 4. And in this example, we have only 4 computers. If you have 100 users and 100 computers, so you need to go to all the 100 computers one by one, and you will have to create the users, all the 100 users one by one in work group model. Okay, so the local users are used in work group model and they are created and saved on local computer. To manage local users, we use this lusrmgr.msc console. Okay, so if it is a work group model, and if you want to open the user console, you will use this command. Then guys, we have domain user. Let us try to understand what is this domain users. So domain users are used in domain model, which means client server model. This is our domain model and we have server and clients here, and they are created on server. So let us say you have 4 users: user 1, user 2, user 3, and user 4. So you are going to create all the users in the domain controller: user 1, user 2, user 3, and user 4. So they are created on server and they are saved on Active Directory database. And what is Active Directory database? ntds.dit. And user can log on to any client using the same account, but not DC. So guys, these users, they can access all the computers in your network. So user 1, he can access, let us say he wants to access Windows 8 machine. So he will log on, he will enter, he will provide the credentials, user 1, and let us say password 123. So this computer will verify whether this user 1 is created on domain controller or Active Directory or not. So the same user can access Windows 7, Windows 2000, Windows 2012. Okay, you don't need to create this username and password on local computers. All you need to do is you will create the username and password on domain controller once. That's it. Okay, so they can log on to any client using the same account but not DC. So these are the normal users and they can access all the clients in your network, but they can't log on to this domain controller. Only the administrators can log on to the domain controller. Okay, you need to remember this point. And to manage the users, we use ADUC, Active Directory Users and Computers Console. We will see what is the meaning of this ADUC console when we create the users on Active Directory. And login user account will be verified on server by Kerberos protocol. So as we have discussed, user 1 wants to access this Windows 8 machine and it will verify the username on domain controller. Who is verifying it? Kerberos protocol. Okay, with the help of this Kerberos protocol, this username and passwords are verified. Let us move forward. Now guys, our lab will be like this. We will create the user accounts in domain controller and create user accounts. User accounts means username and password for Bill and Satya. Let us say you have 2 employees, Bill and Satya, and you need to create the username and password for them. And your requirement is like this: Bill should change the password on his first login. So what we will do, guys, we will create the username for Bill. Okay, here we will create the username for Bill, and let us say the password is 123, and we will provide this username and password to Bill. Bill doesn't want to use our password, he wants to set his own password, so we will allow him to assign his own password. Okay, Bill should change the password on his first login. So which option you will select? You will select this option: user must change the password at next logon. If you select this option, Bill will get one window. On that window he will change the password, and Satya should not change the password. So we'll create one username for Satya, and we'll type the password. We'll provide the password 123, and we will uncheck this option. If we uncheck this option, he will use our same password. Okay, the password which we have created for him, he is going to use the same password. He will not get the window to change the password at the first login. Later he can change manually, but he will not get the window at the first logon. Okay, after that we'll log in as Bill and Satya, and we'll set up the icons. Let us create the username and password for Bill and Satya. We'll go to domain controller. Okay, this is our lab. We have domain controller, and we have server 2. Server 2 is nothing but our member server. Let us change the name of this server to member server. We'll click OK, and we'll power on this workstation 1, and we'll go to the domain controller, and we'll log on to this machine. We provide the password here, and we'll click enter. So we have logged in to the domain controller. Okay, we'll wait for a few seconds. We'll let this server settle down. This is the server manager. Okay, guys, and we need to create the username and password. We need to create the user accounts for Bill and Satya. So we'll go to tools. Under tools, we'll go to Active Directory, users and computer, ADUC console. This is the ADUC console. We'll click this option. Then you will expand this ms.com. Under this ms.com, you will find one option, users. Under this users, you will see our administrator, and you will see Asif, and you will see the other groups as well. So here, what you will do, you will right click. You will need to create a new user, right click, new, and we need to create a user. So we'll select user option here, and the first name is Bill, and the last name is Gates, and user logon name, let us give only Bill. Then we'll click next. So guys, Bill should change the password at the next logon. So we'll select this option and we'll provide the password here, MCSE123 hash dollar, MCSE123 hash dollar. Then we'll click next, finish. So Bill user account is created. Now we need to create the Satya account. We'll right click on users, new user, Satya, and last name Nadella, and we'll provide user logon name Satya only. Okay, with this username, he will log on to the computers. We'll click next, and Satya should not change the password at next logon. So we'll uncheck this option and we'll select this option, password never expires. So the password will never expire. And if you select this option, user can't change the password, so Satya won't be able to change the password. So we will uncheck it, which means he can, if he wants, he can change the password later. And if you want to disable the account, you will select this option. So we will go with password never expires. Then we'll provide the password. We'll provide the same password, MCSE123 hash dollar, MCSE123 hash dollar. But in real time, you need to provide the different passwords. We'll click next, finish. So guys, two accounts are created, Bill and Satya. Okay, so what we will do, we'll go to this workstation one, and first we'll log on with Bill. So Control Alt Del, this is the Control Alt Del option, and here we'll select other user option and Bill, MCSE123 hash dollar. Okay, it is saying username or password is incorrect. Try again. So what is the problem here, Bill? MCSE123 hash dollar. Okay, here it is not hash dollar. So let us change the language. MCSE123 hash dollar. Now it is hash dollar. Now guys, we are getting this option. User's password must be changed before signing in. Okay, we have selected that option. User should change the password at the next logon. Okay, so we'll click OK, and let us provide the password here, new password. Let us give NOA123 hash dollar. Okay, then we need to confirm the password, NOA123 hash dollar. Now it is changing the password. Your password has been changed. Now guys, we are logging to this computer for the first time with user Bill. So what this computer will do, it will create the profile for this user. Creating the profile, nothing but it is creating the space for Bill to work. Okay, it is saying hi, and we are getting everything ready for you, which means it is creating the profile for Bill user. It is creating the space, you can say, to work. So this might take several minutes. So we have got this desktop. So this desktop is the part of profile. Okay, and on this desktop we have only one icon, recycle bin. So we need to set the other icons as well. So how will you set the other icons? You will right click on start. You will go to settings. Then we'll go to personalization. Then we'll go to themes. So under these themes, we'll select desktop icon settings and we'll select the icons which we want to be appeared on the desktop. Okay guys, so if you see here, all the icons are available and Bill Gates folder is created. So this folder is a part of profile. Now guys, what we will do, we will sign out from this user and we will sign in with Satya account. Control Alt Del, or you will select the other user option, then Satya, and MCSE123 hash dollar. And this time it will not ask you to change the password. Again, it is creating the profile. It is creating the space to work for Satya. Okay. This is the one-time process. When you log on to the first time, when you log on for the first time to any computer, it will create the profile and it will take some time. Okay, so we have logged on successfully and you can see we are getting this desktop and we are getting only one icon on the desktop. So we'll set up the icons. We'll right click on start, settings, then we'll select personalization, then we'll select themes, then we'll select desktop icon settings, and then we'll check the icons. And all the icons are appearing here and with Satya folder. This is the profile of Satya. These two users, Bill and Satya, they can log on to any computer, any client except the domain controller because they are not admins. Only admins can log on to the domain controller. Let us verify. So what we will do, we will go to domain controller. So we will sign out or we'll change the username. Let us sign out from administrator. And we'll try to log in with Bill or Satya. Let us try to log in with Bill. It is saying incorrect. Okay, so .com. Anyhow, so it is not allowing you to log on to this domain controller. If you try to access with Satya, So you will get this error. The sign in method you are trying to use isn't allowed. Okay, because it is a normal user and domain controller will not allow the normal user to log in. Okay, for more information, contact your network administrator. Okay, so we have already seen how to create the users. Okay, guys, and the default password policy is to enter the complex password with minimum 7 characters. So, guys, the password should be complex. What is the meaning of complex password? It should be a combination of capital letters, small letters, numbers, special character. Okay, so the example is MCSE 123 hash dollar. So we have capital letter, we have small letters, we have numbers, and we have special character. So this is the meaning of complex password, and you need to enter minimum 7 characters. If you enter, let us say only MCSE, it will not accept. You should at least enter the 7 characters, minimum 7 characters. Okay, let me show you. What we will do now, we will try to create, we'll try to assign the password less than 7 characters. So how to create the username? You will go to server manager, then you will go to tools. Under tools, you will go to Active Directory, users and computers. Then let us create one user, user1. And we'll click next. And we'll try to provide the password with less than 7 characters. How many characters? Okay, we'll decrease the characters here. So you will get this error. Windows cannot set the password for user1 because the password does not meet the password policy requirements. Check the minimum password length, password complexity, password history requirements. So guys, we have given the password with less than 7 characters. Okay, this time what we will do, we will provide the 7 characters, but we will not provide the complex password. Okay, we'll simply write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, the characters are more than 7, but it will not accept because it is not a complex password. Again, Windows cannot set the password for user1 because the password does not meet the password policy requirement. Check the minimum length. The length is okay, but the password complexity is not there. We have entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now what we will do, we'll provide the password as per the default group policy, minimum 7 characters with complexity. So capital M CSE 123 $. Capital M CSE 123 hash dollar, and it will accept this password. Okay, so this is the default password policy. You should enter minimum 7 characters with complexity. So guys, we can create number of users based on Windows Server edition. If it is an essential edition, we can create only 25 users. If it is a standard edition, we can create unlimited users, but with the standard edition, we can create only 2 virtual machines. And if it is a data center edition, we can again create unlimited users with unlimited virtual machines. Okay, guys. So the default password policy is to enter the complex password with minimum 7 characters. We have already verified. Okay. So the default password policy is like this. It is having these many options. The first option is enforce password history 24 password remember, maximum password age 42 days, minimum password age 1 day, and if you see minimum password length, it is 7 characters, and password must meet complexity requirement. It is enabled, which means users should enter the complex password. It is enabled. And store password using reversible encryption, it is disabled. Let us try to understand all these fields one by one. Okay, enforcing password history. What is the meaning? So number of unique passwords that must be used before an user can reuse his old password. So it is 24. Let us say, guys, if you have given 23 passwords, remember. So what this Active Directory will do, let us say you have given one password ABC and you have changed the password to PQR, and the third time if you are changing the password to ABC again, it will not accept. You need to enter 3 unique passwords. Okay, let us say XYZ. And from the fourth password, you can use your old passwords ABC, PQR, XYZ. So maximum it is 24, which means you should use 24 unique passwords. Then only you can use the old passwords. This is the meaning. Okay, enforcing password history and maximum password age. So user must change the password after 42 days. By default, it is 42 days. So users must change the password after 42 days. So you can increase or decrease. And maximum password minimum. Okay, minimum password age. So by default, it is 1. So user should wait for 1 day to change the password. So if user wants to change the password, he has to wait for 1 day. And store passwords using reversible encryption. So what this option will do? Okay, it is enabled. This one, it is disabled. If it is enabled, what this option will do? The password will be saved in reversible order and it will be encrypted. Okay, so we can change the above password settings. Now, guys, so we are going to perform these 3 labs. The first lab is the password should be accepted without any complexity. So if you enter the password without any complexity, like you can enter A, B, C, D. Okay, and it is not a complex password, so it will accept it. It should accept it. Okay, so we will disable it. Okay, the option is there. And second lab, minimum password length should be 3 characters. And the third lab, the account should be created without any password. Even we can create the account without any password. So we need to change the password policy. Okay, guys. So let us see the first lab. Okay, so password should be accepted without any complexity. So you will go to the group policy. Okay, I will show you how to read the group policy. Okay, to reach the default group policy, you will go to server manager. Under this server manager, you will go to tools. Then you will go to group policy management. You will get this window. Okay, you will expand forest. You will expand domains. Then you will expand ms.com. You will get the default group policy here. You will right click here on this default group policy. You will select edit option. After selecting the edit option, you will get this window. So here you will select computer configuration. Under this computer configuration, you will select policies. Under policies, you will select Windows settings. Under Windows settings, you will select security settings. Under security settings, you will select account policies. Under account policies, you will select this option, password policy. So when you select this password policy, you will get this option. You will get this window. So what you will do, password should be accepted without any complexity. So what you will do, you will disable password must meet complexity requirement. This option. You will select this option and you will disable it. By default, it is enabled. You will disable it and it will accept the password without any complexity. It will accept 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Let us do this lab first. We'll go to domain controller. So let us open the server manager. We'll do it from scratch. So you will select server manager here. Then you will go to tools. Under tools, you will go to group policy management. Under group policy management, you will expand forest. You will expand domains. You will expand ms.com and it is having the default policy here. So right click default policy, edit. Okay. Then computer configuration, then policies and Windows settings. Under Windows settings, we have security settings. Under security settings, we have account policies. Under account policies, we have these three options: password policy option, account lockout policy, Kerberos policy. So we'll select this password policy option. We'll double click on it. Okay, and we have all these options and our requirement is it should not accept the complex password. So we'll select this option, password must meet complexity requirement. We will double click on it and we'll disable it. Apply. Okay, so guys, we have made some changes in the group policy. So we need to update the group policy. How will you update the group policy? GP UPD DAT update, GP update. So it is updating the group policy. So computer group policy update has completed successfully. Now guys, what we will do, we'll close this window, then we'll go to tools and we'll go to Active Directory users and computers. And let us create one more user. Let us say user 2. User 2. And we'll click next. And we'll provide the password like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Without any complexity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should accept it. So if you see it is accepting the passwords without any complexity. Now guys, let us do our second lab. our second lab is account should be created without any password. Okay, so to create any account without any password, so what you will do, you will go to minimum password length. Here minimum password length is 7 characters and we'll make it 0. If you make it 0, it will accept the username without any password. Okay, so let us go and change the policy. Again, we'll do it from scratch. So we'll go to server manager, we'll go to start, server manager, then we'll go to tools, and we need to change the group policy. So we'll go to group policy management, then forest domains ms.com default policy. We'll right click, edit, and computer configuration, then policies, Windows settings, then we'll go to security settings. Under this security settings, we have account policies. Under account policies, we have password policy, and it should accept the password. Okay, it should accept the username without any password. So we'll select this option and we'll make it 0. So no password required. If you see here, no password required, and we'll create one more user, user 3. Okay guys, so let me show you one thing, user 3, and we'll click next, and we will not provide any password. Let us see whether it is accepting it or not. So guys, it is not accepting. Why it is not accepting? Because we have changed the group policy, but we didn't update the group policy. So let us update the group policy first. Now it should accept the username without any password. You can see we didn't provide any password here, and this user 3 is created. Now let us see our third lab. Our third lab is minimum password length should be 3 characters. Okay. So what we will do again, we'll go to minimum password length and we'll make it 3. So it will accept the 3 characters without any complexity, because we have disabled the complexity as well. So again guys, we'll do it from scratch. We'll close all the windows. So you can remember the steps. We'll go to start, server manager. Then we'll go to tools. Under tools, we have group policy management. Under group policy management, you will expand forest domains ms.com. Then you will reach to default domain policy, and you will edit this default domain policy. Right click, edit. Then we'll go to computer configuration, policies, Windows settings. Then we'll go to security settings. Under this security settings, we'll go to account policies. Under this account policies, you will go to password policy, and our requirement is to accept the password with minimum 3 characters. So we'll make it 3. So password must be at least 3 characters. Okay, and the complexity is disabled, so it will accept 3 characters. So we'll go to the server. So it is, we'll go to tools, we'll go to Active Directory, users and computers. Then we'll create one user, user 4. User 4, and we need to update the group policy. User 4 will click next. So guys, what we will do, we'll try to click next without entering any password. So it will give the error, and the error is Windows cannot create the object user 4 because unable to update the password. The value provided for the new password does not meet the length, complexity, or history. So guys, it is not meeting the length requirement. So we need to provide at least 3 characters. So we'll provide 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And if you see, it is accepting this password. And we can change the administrator password as well to 1, 2, 3. We will go to how to reset the password. You will go to the user, right click, reset password. So we'll give 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the password is changed. Okay, so if you want to change the password for other users, you will right click, reset password, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is how you will modify the default password policy. So guys, after changing the password, we need to update. After changing the policy, we must update the group policy using this gp update command, and we need to wait for 30 to 180 minutes, or we can restart the domain controller in non-working hours. Okay, so these things we can do.